to begin this episode with an admission. For all too often now, for far too many years, when faced with the option of health food, my reaction was woefully predictable. I would consider it unappetizing, uninteresting, downright tasteless. All that has changed. Not just because I have finally realized that it's not just about low calorie count, something that is sorely needed, but it's also taking forward a movement, finally, that Alice Waters began in San Francisco a few years ago. Yes, early steps are being taken over here, and I have to tell you, with staggeringly tasty results.
So yes, if you spend much time at your neighborhood sabzi wala, you may have noticed that there's a renewed emphasis on produce. The range, yes, but also the kind. While imports still thrive, the cry for locally grown fare, grown right, is also starting to gather traction. Where does your food come from and what has gone into it are now the measures of how to eat well. And happily for those of us who aren't always able to make the distinction, there are now quite a few restaurants taking care of that for you. Let me be clear before I head to my day's first stop. Health food in this case is not about low cal counts, or not just. It's about eating clean, and so where better to figure out some of those benefits than at the Yoga House. It's a small charming space set in the heart of Mumbai's Chimbai village, a former fishing hamlet, and in the 2 years of its existence has carved out a devoted following for the classes as much as for the eats. But I of course am here for one thing, and before I start tucking in, a heads up on what's in store.
See, basically yoga gives awareness.
Right.
Awareness is the word. Once you're aware of what you're doing, if you're not aware, you meet with an accident. If you're not aware, you eat whatever you eat. Yoga gives you the awareness, and then it becomes a check. So because both of us practice yoga, we have the awareness of eating right food, we have the awareness of tasting the right food, we have the awareness of the discipline, when to be what.
Yeah, I would add that yoga is also non-violence, ahimsa, and you don't do any violence to your body when you eat good food, and it's very smooth for the body, and it's very respectful. Some people think that it's not very interesting and exciting, but for me, I think it's closer to authenticity, and I think it's closer to the real taste and feeling good about it, because you can feel a difference when you eat this kind of food and some other food. You can feel it right away on your body.
So first then, the tippers. I begin with their potent pink juice, an antioxidant-laced potion of pomegranate, watermelon and rose. And then this, lime and lemongrass, making it the ultimate shot of cool. One which comes with its own set of benefits.
Lime and lemongrass, lime and water. So it's just a shot of antiseptic, keeping your body cool in the daytime.
It does work very well, as does their summer citrus salad, leaves, sprouts, orange, pomegranate, pistachios and a particularly effective feta to bind it all together. The cheese and the pistas adding the good fat and the good protein. It is as tasty as it is nutritious. What came next? Ah yes, that's one worth spending time over. It's called the Yogi Special, and it's just that.
It's got grains, it's got salad, then it's got yogurt. Grain takes care of your fulfilling of your stomach. This takes care of the fiber of your body, and this takes care of the nutrition and the taste and the yumminess.
So yes, fruit, fiber, grain, it's got it all. It's also got flavor. The simple fruit curd, for example, garnished with gur, the fig salad with its light dressing of olive oil, and best of all to my mind, the quinoa tabbouleh, a wonderfully effective marriage. Quinoa, the perfect replacement for the traditional cracked wheat that usually goes into this.
I'm not kidding, this quinoa tabbouleh is the stuff.
Then came the traveller's plate, a sample of their tartines, and I was sold. No more, no fat equals no flavor for me, especially since this once again doesn't decry it. It just uses the right kind. With their cheddar and courgette, the tangy tomatoes, the yogurt tossed one. Each one, it seemed to me, was just a little better than the one before.
Anyone who ever told you that food that was good for you was also food that was tasteless and boring, have a bite of this. And since I was actually also one of those who for a long time considered food that was good for me and food that was, healthy was tasteless and boring, I am going to eat my words with as much relish as I am eating this. Oh.
finish off with what else? The house speciality, their quinoa burger, one that's made of a combination of said quinoa and watermelon seeds. It's served with hummus atop a multi-grain sesame studded bun. Was it worth the hype? Why yes, absolutely. Who knew?
So look, in all fairness, you cannot expect this to hold its own against a big, beefy, juicy patty. But I have to say, this is good. The hummus, the quinoa, watermelon seeds, and it's yummy.
So there you have it. I have started my day eating both wisely and well, something I never get to say. Will that hold true for my next stop? I suspect so. You see, a short while away sits a new addition to the organic scene, the Birdsong Cafe. A delightful name for a delightful space. Set off an equally quaint bylane in Bandra, Birdsong's looks perfectly match its offerings. It boasts big bay windows, the better to watch the world walk by. It's embellished with clever chalkwork and has counters positively bursting with goods and treats. As I settle in and my table piles up, here's why this bird song is well worth listening to.
Health is not only about losing weight. Just wanted to put organic food out there, like healthy organic food out there and tasty food. The people have got this impression that healthy organic food is not tasty, but we wanted to break that myth.
It's a place where you can still have as good as home cooked food, where all the flavors are as natural as your taste buds can recognize. It's all about the chemical free, all organic products, which makes the food more tastier. At the same time, your sense recognize it. You know it. How your food responds to your system.
And it shines all the way through. This is comfort food, not despite their sourcing, but because of it. So take for example their cinnamon French toast, made with whole wheat homemade bread, wonderfully dense and moist slices, best when topped with their organic, locally sourced honey.
So French toast made with their organic, homemade whole wheat bread, served with their organic honey and cinnamon. How good is it? It's so good that the plate lasted, well, about 5 seconds.